Hello, people of grace. This is our triumphal entry week leading up to Palm Sunday. And so, for our Pastoral Connect today, I wanted to talk a little bit about the poetry of the triumphal entry and build a bit of a poetic link between Jesus' triumphal entry and Psalm 19. In Psalm 19, you get this picture, very well known verse, of the heavens declaring the glory of God. And then of the sun, like a triumphant bridegroom in both the sunrise and the sunset, and that whole kind of arc of the sun's light during the day. And Psalm 19's a part of Psalm 19 is kind of the sun's triumphal entry and presence each day and the celebration of light. So I just want to look at the beginning of Psalm 19 today. We're going to look more in depth in our Sunday service on Palm Sunday. But the first few verses of Psalm 19 could be called the music of the spheres, the music of the stars. And they're well-known verses. They say, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the sky above proclaims his handiwork. Day to day pours out speech, and night to night reveals knowledge." So there's a speech and there's a knowledge there. But then verse 3 says, "There is no speech, nor are there words, whose voice," the heaven's voice, "is not heard." Even though we don't hear it audibly, their voice, the heaven's voice, goes out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. Verse 4, the voice of the heavenly spheres, is really the idea of a tone, like a musical instrument or a vibration or a string plucked. And that's an incredibly poetically beautiful and amazing and mysterious statement, because we now know that the stars actually do have a tone. We can't hear them because of the vacuum of space, but we can observe that those vibrations, those waves are happening, and then convert them back into sound. It's an amazing thing that really hints at the mystery of the universe, and which ought to be awe-inspiring for us. So their voice is not heard, but they have a voice and they testify. This psalm is the triumph of awe and mystery and reverence. Ask yourself a question. Do you really want to live in a world, in a universe, in a creation, where you can figure everything out and only feel safe by that kind of analysis? I think that's a pretty sad world. What we know from this world is that all of our attempts to reason, as beautiful as reason is, if there's nothing beyond this world, nothing beyond our reason's ability to comprehend, all of our reasonings are like standing on a crumbling cliff. And something speaks from the void of that cliff saying, "I'm here, I made you, trust me, and leap." See, both belief and unbelief are actions of the will. And we are designed for belief. There is more and more evidence to this effect. We are made to believe. So, believe. Hear the testimony, even when we can't hear the voice. Believe the mystery. Christ is the mystery of God. That which transcends all understanding became human so he could be understood and give us, through his work, the work of Christ, the ability to understand by faith. Belief is what we're made for. Unbelief is not something that just happens to us. Unbelief is a sign of our brokenness. It is caused by a lot of things, but they can kind of be lumped into three general categories, maybe more, but three for today. Number one is overthinking. Number two is kind of a woundedness or a pathology or what we would call trust issues, usually because you've been betrayed or there's been some trauma or some experience, so it's crippled even our fallen ability to trust. And then the third reason is just something we don't really want to own, but what God called the sin beast. to Cain. And this sinfulness that lives in us is not who God created us to be, but it is hostile to faith and seeks to crucify faith in the Word of God wherever it can so that it can stay in control. This is the week of the triumphal entry. This is the week of celebrating who Jesus is. And let's celebrate the triumphal entry of faith, the music of the spheres, the beauty of the mystery that is Christ, in whom all the fullness of the deity dwells in bodily form. When we see him, we see the Father. When we choose to trust him, we trust the unseen Father. And when those things happen, we celebrate the mysterious work of his Spirit that makes all of that possible. I'm glad that my soul does not depend on my pathetic reason. I'm glad that there's something bigger that we can trust. And I'm especially glad that that bigger one, the Creator himself, made himself known in the face of Jesus. And when we look at Jesus, we see a beautiful God who loves us unconditionally. And that's an encouraging thought as we look forward to Palm Sunday. Have a blessed day.